Ready?
Back to our roots.
Yes, sir. Yo, what's poppin'? You know what it is. We don't have no name to this podcast just yet. So as of right now, we'll name this podcast later. Okay. Yo, if you are a new viewer to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. If you're a new listener, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the little plus sign right now on the podcast app, right? Yeah. So if you listen to that little purple app on your iPhone or on your Android or whatever, however you listen to podcasts, make sure you add the show, right? Add the show, subscribe to the show, because right now it's an imbalance. We have so many people that's not subscribed to the show watching us, and we appreciate you guys, but we need the subscribers. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like and comment. Also, if you listen to the podcast, make sure you rate the show, because honestly, what people don't know is when you get high ratings, that's how your podcast get boosted up. So we talk about this algorithm and things like that on Instagram and YouTube and all that. But when you're listening to the show, that's super important. So please subscribe and add the show, man. Thank you.
Shout out to Jay.
Alexander the Blanc is in the building. What up, y'all? Make some noise. What's up, bro? How you feeling?
We get that
on the broadcast. It's all over there, man. How you feeling, brother?
Feel great, bro.
Man, let me tell y'all about Alex, man. Alex be hitting me like, yo, I started posting on TikTok or whatever. So Alex like, yo, the numbers is going good. I'm like, Alex is excited. And like me, the last thing I want to do is take away from his joy. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to be excited too, but I'm like, I be trying not to look at things. So it's like that kind of take away from my excitement, like, cause comments be comments. So I just post it and I try to let it go. But yeah, man, shout out to Alex, man. You keeping me excited. You getting me energized about this thing,
bro. This is something new. It's fresh. It's something that was organic.
No,
you know what I mean? I think that's why I'm so excited about it, is because when I see the response, it's like, dog, we just woke up one day. You were like, yo, come record. I mean, you've been saying it, but like we actually just pulled up and recorded.
No, facts.
So to see the response from just genuine conversation and literally homie talk is something that is encouraging.
100%, man. How was your week, bro?
It was a great week.
Wait. It
was a great week.
Niggas ain't shit. Because when a man say it was a great week,
it was.
I automatically think, oh, this nigga got some pussy.
Nah. See, in 2025, bro, we're gonna normalize being a good week without getting some pussy.
I don't know if I want to do that.
I'm just saying, it's more to life, bro.
It is more to life, but damn, you make me feel bad. He like, we going, man, you go with that
woke talk.
Yeah, man, he like, we're gonna normalize having a great week without. Why?
You can. It was a great week. I mean, they're doing construction in the crib, so that was tough over the last few weeks, but they finally started. They got the floors done, and it's looking good, bro.
Nah, it's good. Y'all got some new appliances coming?
Yeah. Well, no, we're about to paint, so the appliances and everything is chill. But nah, it's good. It looks nice.
What you about to have, like a hanging down light coming from the ceiling type?
We might do something like that. Put some lights on the paintings.
Niggas is different. Y'all moving different in the crib.
I don't know, man. It was a good week, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. What about you? How's your week?
My week was pretty good. My week was really good. I ain't get no ass. It was really good because it was productive. Mm-hmm. I didn't get no ass, but like it was productive as hell. Like Monday, it started off the week swell.
Other people,
yo,
that shit was fire.
So I'm starting to do this thing with the team where every Monday we come and from 11 to 3 we get work done together, right? So that's either editing, making clips, writing out goals. Mm-hmm. And listen, y'all, I got a damn chalkboard. I got a whiteboard. I don't write down nothing. I don't be putting nothing in my calendar, but I started doing that this week, and the week went amazing. So, like, Monday started off the week. The team came through. We got a lot of edits done. We got a lot of goals written down. And also, I was able to do some calls and, like, talk to people about this mentorship. I think I might have booked one person, but still, that's dope. You get what I'm saying? So, it's like I put the calls in my calendar. So, like, that was dope. I mean, this whole week, I just got work done. Oh, yeah, then... Of course, shout out to the small wins too. Like just me starting posting on TikTok, right?
Major win.
Yeah,
I don't think it's small win. I think that was major, bro.
Yeah. We had 3 clips that gave us like maybe like 700,000 all together now. Mm-hmm. One did 300 something thousand, another did 200 something, another one did 200 something. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, man, that was definitely a win. I can't deny that. I told myself I wasn't gonna post that other clip on Instagram. I did.
You did.
But I ain't look at the comments. But I told you. It's went crazy. It's got like 100 and something comments.
It does?
Yeah.
I gotta go check that.
Bro, I didn't.
Bro, people.
People are, bro. Let me see. I didn't look at the comments because
you know what kind of was. I read a few comments about that on that clip in particular, and
oh my bad.
Nah, it's straight. But it was just funny because you gave kind of like the disclaimer on your story, and reading is essential. So I could just tell the people that didn't see it from your story, like they just saw a post up on their feed, and I was just like, he clearly said this take was before, you know what I'm saying, everything came out. But
it's cool. But it got 173 comments, 278 shares. So like people was popping shit. Niggas just pop in it. They pop in it. But yeah, man, I already knew that was gonna happen. I might post the other one. Like, cause like you know what's funny? Social media is really what you make it, bro. Like, cause I posted it, I haven't looked at the comments, so I'm cool. Right? Mm-hmm. A lot of times we give, and I'm not gonna say we don't need to give none of this our attention, but we just gotta have some discernment of what we give our attention. And I didn't even think about this until I posted this clip, because you gotta use it for what you need it for. So for example, like I posted it, it's doing what it's doing. I ain't look at it, my mood is good, right? If I would have looked at it, my mood probably been down because people talking shit about me. Nobody want to see what people talking shit about them.
Yeah, right.
However, you don't need to do that for every single piece of content you put out, because it's some things that people are like saluting you for. And again, just like the bad comments can bring you down, the good comments can bring you up. Yeah. And I'm never saying live by the comment, because if you live by the comment, you'll die by the comment. Yeah. However, you can manipulate it in a situation where it works for you. So if people are complimenting you and people are giving you your roses, you can look at that and allow that to bring your spirits up, if that makes sense. Absolutely. And if you know it's something that's controversial and people might be critiquing you, just don't look at it.
And I think another thing to that point, I think in this season, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? For the sake of like the growth of the podcast and everything in that capacity. But more importantly, I think I said this in a previous episode. When I came back from Haiti, after that experience in DR, I was just like, why am I trying to like win approval of people? Like why do I care?
Yeah.
You know, so I remember we had a very candid conversation this week, and you were like, I was like, I love this media shit. And you were like, you sure? Because it's like when they coming at you in the comments, like, are you gonna be okay with that? And I was like, you know, in this season in general, I just feel like I'm turning 30 next year. I'm more comfortable with myself. So it's like, do I really care about what other people, or am I doing this for other people's approval? And if I am going down that path, then I need to reevaluate myself, because now it's not genuine. Wow. And we're gonna have a conversation later on about authenticity, talking about trending topic, but that really made me reflect. So I've been at peace with the posting, with the content and everything. And that's why I've been kind of like fixated on us being our authentic self, but still being not necessarily received, but it's just like it's the message is going out there with the numbers. I don't care what they're saying, but it's just the fact that the message is being shared. Right. So whether or not you agree with the take or you don't, it's starting a conversation. And I think that's one of the biggest parts of media, is to start the conversation.
100%. And just to your point, I think one thing that I'm embracing is just my voice, right? If people agree with it or not, like I'm embracing that, because actually you had a big role. You played a big role in this when you was like, bro, it's stirring up the pot so much because it's a different take, and I gotta embrace that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what when we look at the biggest people to do it, like the Charlemagnes, the academics, right? Even the people that Kevin Samuel, you know what I'm saying? Like, those people, they stood out because they were different. And like, a lot of people might not agree with it at first, but you got to embrace that. And I'm learning to embrace the differences, because people might come at me crazy, but eventually they'll start to learn who I am, or not, but I'll start to have my own audience, right? And at first, like, again, not saying I didn't care, but we're all human, right? So it's like, man, I just don't feel like that today. Yeah. But nah, like, you got to embrace that. If that's who you are, dive deep into it.
And you said that. You said that.
That was crazy. I'm about to die.
It's one a show, bro. At least one. But as you were talking about that, you said a few episodes ago that you were getting comfortable with being a disruptor.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, we need disruptors in this society. We need disruptors and people that are willing to shift the norm, because sometimes you get complacent with the norm. And I had a conversation with one of my coworkers a few weeks ago, and we were talking about a situation, and I think they were like, I've heard worse, or I've seen worse. And I remember in that moment, I could have just been quiet, but I was like, that doesn't make it okay.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you've seen worse, that still doesn't mean that you should create that environment.
Yeah.
And I found myself like very passionate about that take. And I just thought to myself, like, what if I had not said anything? What if I would have just like affirmed that thought, like, oh yeah, I've seen way worse, so you should be okay. Like, nah, like we need to shift this norm. We need to move away from that abusive type of. I mean, I understand tough love, but it's like from an abusive standpoint. I'm not telling people to be soft, but you can be candid. But Gary Vee talks about it in one of his books. He's like, kind candor. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I'm gonna be honest and transparent and very direct about what you did, but I'm gonna lead with love.
Of course.
So just conversations in that way, I think you start to understand the role of being a disruptor and why that pushes the culture forward in a positive way.
Wow, no, that's a fact. And like, as long as I know, again, like you said, leading with love, I know for a fact all my messages, even if they're a little aggressive, it's still leading with love, right? I'm passionate about what I'm saying. So yeah, I don't think I have that issue. It's just, I think differently, and that's cool, and I'm embracing that. We walking in the new season. I said this on my gram. In this new season, we promoting our business, right? Without being scared, without feeling no way. We going hard for what we believe in. We're standing on our business, on our morals, and we also stand on our boundaries. Listen, in this new season, bro, it's gonna look very, not different, but it's gonna look very consistent in how we feel and who we are.
And structured, right? Consistent. There's structure in it, and there's not a zeal, but like a joy to do the work. And I think that's important.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
I don't know what season we're in with podcasting. I'm gonna be honest, right?
Okay.
I don't. Everybody always be like, "Man, what do you think the future of podcasting?" I don't know. I'm just doing what I do, right? Until I can't do it no more. I did a few calls, right, and I feel like I've known this, but every now and again, it's a reminder when people say it. So what I'm saying is, I did a couple calls. I'm like, man, I remember when you first started doing podcasts. That's really when I started like following you, Gemini Scorpio podcast. Mind you, I was doing freestyles before that, right? So it's a lot of people who know me for that, but it's a lot of people who know me for the Gemini Scorpio podcast, right? And I'm like, yo, that really had a hold on people, even if it wasn't the biggest or crazy amount of numbers. It clearly had an impact. And I was just wondering, like, damn, like, do you think we can do that again? Not the Gemini Scorpio podcast itself, but like that, what we had, that moment.
That with this?
Yes.
Yes and no. I think no, in the aspect of the dynamic and the conversations that you were having was so real because y'all were living it, right? So like from that dynamic of a relationship, obviously not.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think yes, from the aspect of authentic and genuine conversations about where we are currently and how we're evolving and communicating that in the most healthiest way possible, absolutely.
I want to ask you a question.
What?
First of all, men are weird, just weird, bro. It's like, I was just joking the other day. I'm like, damn, a nigga can't even say congratulations to what I was saying, Paul. It's like, hey, we're sick, bro. I can't. But anyway, so I was talking to somebody, right? And she was like, she believes this, you in your life is always two different type of soulmates. Like you have two soulmates. Of course, the intimate soulmate, but it's also that soulmate of like friendship. And I'm like, damn. And she was telling me like her best friend is she really believes her best friend is her soulmate. And I'm like, in that case, I think Alex might be my soulmate. But in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Because the way she was explaining, like, comes easy is like somebody that like got your back, but it's no pressure. It's easy. I'm like, damn, like that's my friend. Like that's somebody that's like, because I got a lot of friends. Not like I got a few male friends. I mean, good friends too.
Yeah.
But some friends is like, I can't take too much. Like they got
in seasons.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Alex is probably one of the only ones that's like, it's just easy. It's like, I don't think we ever had a disagree. I don't know. I feel like we had to disagree before, but I don't remember.
We disagree, but it's like, okay. You'll be like, it's like we're going, because we're very strong-willed individuals, but we know how to articulate our emotion, but we also give room for the other to talk. And I feel like in society, people be cutting you off, but one thing within that conversation,
shut the fuck
like, but I feel like in this stage, actually, E was mad about it one day, and I remember this because I remember we were having a conversation, and I said something, and he was like, "You don't shut the fuck up." He was like, "But if this is Jay and he was on a podcast, you let that nigga talk." And I was just sitting there like, damn, this nigga right though. That was kind of time. I shut the fuck up. At that moment, I was like, damn, you got me. But Yeah, no, I really feel like it's because we create the space where it's like, all right, you say your piece, I say my piece. It'll go back and forth for as much as possible, but there's still that space for you to clearly articulate how you feel about a situation.
But also, right, I think I said this on the last episode. And nothing, I'm mad you said his name, but nothing wrong with E, right? But again, I don't know. But y'all been friends since y'all was kids, right?
Yeah.
So I can't say that then. Because I'm like, sometimes, again, some people, or I can say this because y'all might not have had that dynamic where, like I said, you might come to me with an idea where somebody else comes to me with an idea, but like, yo, you ain't earned this.
Yeah.
You ain't earned me to be like, all right, bet I'm gonna just go with it. Right? And that could be my friend for years. And I'm not saying we should all have to be working to earn trust and things like that, but it just, it's a feeling I can't really explain. It's like, yo, sometimes you work with somebody, you build that chemistry, so it's like, if he say something, it's like, man, I don't know, but they earned the try, right? It's gonna sound crazy. You might not have earned to shut the fuck up. Cause like, I don't know, it might be something that you did or triggered me that, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's a pattern. So it's like when somebody you know, not saying you ain't think he has your best interest, but I don't know, I'm making up shit at this point. But like sometimes when you feel safe, pause, this is crazy, but because we're talking about men, right? But sometimes when you don't feel safe, you have this emotional trigger, and we don't mean no harm, that is like fight or flight, right? So even I want to hear you. I want to do the right thing, but like, because you haven't shown me that I can do the right thing, my mind is playing tricks on me saying you got to fight or flight when that's not right.
I think it's circumstantial too, right? So natural defense, which we're on the defensive often, especially as men, because we often feel like we're being attacked, right? Mm-hmm. So if you come from a position where you're constantly being attacked, naturally you're on defense mode. You're ready to fight back.
And we're not saying that this is okay, because y'all might take these words and use it as excuses.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, right.
This don't mean that it's okay. We're saying we understand the action.
The dynamics. Right. But I feel like in that particular situation, one, I was drunk. So got to factor that in. I got to leave with that. So I'm like passionate about the topic because we're talking about relationships during that time, not without going too much into the actual conversation. So what was said triggered me.
Yeah.
So I was passionate about the conversation. So I'm like trying to get my point across, because when I'm drunk, I'm like, I don't want to forget this. But then two, I actually care about this. A lot of shit I don't care about.
Facts.
So I just be like, okay. But you actually get me to care about a particular topic, bro. You're going to see the energy. You're going to see the passion and everything in between. So that was just that moment. And, you live and you learn. I apologized. I was like, my bad, bro. You was right. I'm going to shut the fuck up next time.
Yeah, and sometimes we need those, because it's like, and this is some things that I think you can get from the dynamic of men, right? Because you tell that to a woman, right? She tries to use that against you, or like gaslight the situation, like, or point the finger like you're gaslighting, right? Like, don't bring up something else that we're talking about this. And I understand that, right? But however, men are able to hear things differently, because you could very much so like, bro, now you're gaslighting. You know what I'm saying? But that word, like, it's a reality to it. It's like, yo, if this was Jay, you would, you know what? Logical sense making is like, all right, man, I'm gonna give you your piece. If you think that, my bad.
Hey, bro.
Yeah. So, last thing. Well, yeah, that's it. That was wrapping up that point.
No, I mean, that was a good starting conversation, because that kind of goes into what we were talking about, because it's evolution. I don't think 4 years ago I would have been able to apologize, or 5 years ago, because I wouldn't have heard him. Like, when he would have came at the way that he, like, because he came at not 10, but we were going back and forth at that point. So we already were passionate. So when he responded, he's like, you don't shut the fuck up. I was like, oh, I had to gather myself for a moment, because I was like,
you talking to?
But then at the same time, I was like, he made a valid point. Yeah. I was like, touche.
Yeah.
So just being able to see the evolution of me in that moment, to not be as triggered, it was great. You know what I'm saying? And that's my dog. We already know. Like, that's really my dog.
I might need glasses because I can't see. I gotta squint.
No, yeah.
But like, I can see it. But anyway, talking about evolution, bro. So one of my friends was over here, and he was like, yo, I never seen Alex as like a co-host. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I know you didn't. I always told y'all. But like, it's funny because he like, yo, I always seen him as like a behind the scenes guy.
Yeah.
It's two thoughts to this though. That's because that's what you created. So we always gonna see something as the creation of it, right? And that's cool. But once you start to break that, it's like now people gotta get used to it. but also having a vision that when you create something, that even though when it's time for you to break the original introduction of yourself, you had the vision all along. So when he said it, I'm like, okay, but in my mind, I'm like, man, I been was on this. Because when he said it, I'm like, it's funny that you said that because he said the same things about himself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so we talking about evolution, and I'm like, man, how do you feel walking into this I wouldn't call it new, but I guess it's new for you.
I wouldn't even necessarily. So I've had like seasons. It's been seasonal. Actually, I remember I went back and I looked at a podcast that I did in 2016, like back in undergrad with some of my homies, and we did 2 episodes. Stop. So I've had like sprinkles of being in front of the camera, but I just was never comfortable. So it was like I'll start, I'm like, like I watched the tape because I obsessed with it. The problem is, like I heard Carson Beck talking about this, and I didn't understand it because he was talking about football. He was like, I can't watch a football game. Like
I think I hear him say
yeah,
that too.
and everybody was like, man, like why would you say that? Like you're an athlete. You're supposed to be going to the draft. And he was like, I don't enjoy it because like I'm going to be watching every little thing, every little detail. So I don't enjoy the football game or watching somebody else play because now I'm studying the game. And with me, with podcasting, I obsess over just media in general. So when I go back, like again, I'm on your page at least 100 times a day. I'm not even gonna hold you. So when I'm in this space, I obsess about it. Why'd you say it this way? Why'd you sound this? Why didn't you have this information prepared? So I'm like constantly criticizing myself on camera. As a producer, it's easy because like that's internal. But like I have to sit there and literally watch my takes and really study the game. And I'm like, dang, bro, like, is this healthy? But I've gotten to a place now where I'm like, no, for the place that I'm trying to go in life, you just got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
And that's how you get great, though.
Yeah.
Bro, you get great by the repetitions, right? I think somebody, I forgot who said it, but he was like, yo, I'm not no better than nobody else. I just do it at an excessive amount, and then I'll become really good at it because I do it so much, right? So it's like, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's very healthy. I think you just care about it and you're passionate about it, right?
Yeah.
So now, I want to ask you, for somebody, because I've never been in that space, right? For somebody whose job and career has always been behind the scenes, for those who might have jobs that's behind the scenes, or for those that might be introverts but want to step out and be on camera, right? What advice would you give them when it comes to like getting on camera? Because I have an idea, but I'm curious of what because you lived it.
I would say study the game, bro. Like you really have to, while you're in a place behind the scenes, learn as much. If you want to, learn as much about being on the camera, but you have an advantage because you know the world behind the scenes, right? So you can write a question, but then also study how do you deliver this question, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I've written a question for a host. Okay, how did he read the script, or a script for a host? How did he read it? What were his inflection points? Where was all this stuff? So you really have hands-on experience to study from start to execution. And I would say use that to your advantage because, man, I've been around great hosts and every one of them were different. But I have been able to really see, from prime example, you, Faraji, Roland, 3 different hosts completely, but just to be able to get that insight, how do you now take all of those shared experiences and apply it to your now interviewing style, your on stage presentation, and everything in between, bro? Like it's tough.
Yeah, no, I think for me watching you and just I guess my own thoughts on it, I would definitely say it's no rush, right? Like take precedence of what you're doing now. So if you are behind the scenes, be great at that. Because I think if you're great at that, then when you transition, you'll be great in that transition because you take your time, you study, you know what you know what's going on, and you're going to do the same thing in that next chapter of your life. So I definitely would say like don't try to force it, right? Because you never forced it at all. It came to you almost, right? And sometimes we gotta go get what we want, right? If you want it, but I can honestly say, I don't know if it'd be safe to say you didn't want this, but I know at the time Alex was more so like reluctant of it. You get what I'm saying? And it came over time, and now it's at a space where it makes the most sense. So yeah just take your time.
Nah, and then to that point, you got to think of like how many people have gone through that path. You talk about your DJ Envys, Charlemagne, to name a few, where they all started as producers. before they were on air. DJ Envy talks about it. He was like, I was a producer first, then I got a shot. You know, sometimes you have to actually go through that rank.
Wow.
In like media, terrestrial radio, because to be on air personality, people think you just show up and sit down.
No.
And I always knew that. And that's really what it was, I think. I always knew how much it really took to be a personality. Okay. I knew how much it took, like, to really commit your energy, your effort. Bro, I'm talking about, not too much, without giving too much information. Hell could be burning up or freezing over outside. And I've seen hosts walk through that. Take a moment, go in the bathroom, come back, and, like, I got to present this product for 2 hours live.
You got to.
And you got everything going wrong and this, that, and the third, but you have to literally be a professional and stuff. And I had to ask myself, like, are you ready for that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if everything is going wrong around you, would you be able to show up and be the best version of yourself?
You got to. Like, I learned that firsthand in hosting. Mm-hmm. Like you might have a bad day. You know, hosting is at night. Mm-hmm. And you might don't feel like showing up, but you got to show up and put on your A game. And you know what? Before that, I saw it when it came to speaking and communicating through hosting. But I actually learned that in football. So I'll never forget my coach. My coach one day was saying, "Yo, I know school is hard. Y'all got it be things going on at home. But when you come out on this football field, it's time to play football." Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to be insensitive, but that's what this is. That's why we pay. Like, we are essentially, you're getting paid for this. You're getting scholarships and things like that. And I'll never forget my coach said, he said, when everything is stacked against you, you feel like everything is going wrong, you had such a bad day, do this. And for you guys that's listening, I'm gonna say it out so you can see it in your head. He was like, yo, before you jog onto the grass, before you jog onto the football field, take your hand and wipe it across your forehead and act like you're throwing something away. So it's like you're wiping all of those problems away from your head and the internal and throw it away. So that way, figuratively, you're throwing away the trash. It's still there, but it's putting yourself in a mindset of like, you know what? That's before work. Now it's time to strap up and do something else. It's time to create some new moments. It's time to create more great things. It's time to create something that I can be happy about. Because if you allow that baggage to continue on moving forward, then you're always going to be down. But if I could just compartmentalize, put that to the side, that hurt my feelings. But now I have a new day, a new opportunity to create something that's going to make me happy.
So, I have a question for you for that, because this is very on brand with what we were talking about before, right? The numbers and looking at things of that nature. You've seen highs and lows.
Yeah.
How do you remain consistent in showing up even though the numbers change, like throughout seasons? Because you have seen millions of views, you've seen hundreds of views, you've seen everything in between, you know? Yeah. So how do you remain consistent? How do you remain, like, is that the same ideology that you take even though it may not be where it wants to be?
It's this so many nuances to this conversation because, like you said, I've seen it. So the experience almost is, because the experience is there, I know better, right? So I've done millions of views right in the middle of the month where I was only getting hundreds of views, right? So it's like, because I know that's happening and that can happen, why would I stop anything? That wouldn't make sense from my experience, right? So it's like the meteorologist or the weather person saying, yo, it's about to storm. You gonna go to the grocery store, because usually when the meteorologists say this, even though sometimes they've been wrong, most times they be right, right? So like, sometimes they wrong, sometimes they don't get it right, but for the most part, they be accurate. So I'm gonna go to the grocery store just in case, right? So in my case, it's like, a lot of times things don't go wrong, but then of me keep being consistent, I get some numbers that go crazy. So why would I stop, right? And that's one part of it. And then another part of it is I be focused, bro. Like, even now, right? I'm in this season of organization and structure. So I'm not really focused on the numbers per se. My goal is structure. So even though, like, I always want the numbers to be big, don't get me wrong, but because I have a different goal, once the goal is met, I'm happy. I'm excited about that. So now I give myself other goals and other milestones to reach. Yeah. So the numbers might not be a milestone, but once this get done, now I'm like, yo, we got to get this, we got to get these numbers, we got to get this guest. I haven't talked about a guest in a minute because I'm not focused on it. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I need to get guests, but I'm like, yo, I need to get my shit in order first. So, I mean, that's another way too. Like, I'm always moving. I'm moving the milestones, always having new goals, always trying to be better in other ways.
That's fire because, like, I think a lot of times we, especially with the media, it's so content and information and everything driven that, like, we forget the structure aspect of it. It's like, just go. Even with this podcast, like we talk about it often, we laughed about it, but we just showed up and recorded. But then, like, I appreciate the fact that you still had the consciousness to be like, because I see it, again, it comes with being a visionary, right? Let's get the structure in place so that when things start to rise, you're not now having to reverse engineer everything because you didn't set those foundational pieces that were very, very much needed, or very much needed for all things. This is business. This doesn't have to be directly related to just media, so that you can see the fruit of your labor faster, essentially. But and I feel like, especially with certain industries that I've worked in, startups, things of that nature, a lot of people are so on go that we forget that, like, okay, you do have to put these things in place. But also, and this might not be you, but I know for me, I get comfortable in spaces. We talked about this last week, but like in spaces and systems that you can create. So part of that is like, I'll get to that when I get to it, because I'm comfortable in this space because I have the flexibility to do what I want to.
Yeah, but also, like, that's true. But also, like, learning though, right? So I talked about this before, how people give me compliments about knowing so much. And I'm like, man, the cost that it took to know as much as to know this much, if that makes sense, right? It took a lot of things failing. It took a lot of money wasted. It took, and I don't want to say wasted, but it took a lot of money being spent. It took a lot of time accumulated over the years, right? So I've done that though. So why do that again? I've created something where it was freestyled and it worked and it was great, but then I had to go back like, damn, I got to sustain this, right? And I did it multiple times. So now it's like, I am doing something new. I know better. And I always give advice. It's like, let me take my own advice, right? People be like, man, I always say, like, if I had to do it over, I wouldn't take the interview route. If I had to do it over, I wouldn't take the guest route. I always say that, right? So now it's time to apply that. And now it's something where I have something where I can do that. So you know what? Even with this show, it's like, we might get 100, 200 views. It's like, cool, we building something. And now I can show you, because I know over time it'll be worth it. And it's going to be like, now, however long it takes, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, I'm going to be like, yo, now my advice is going to stick harder, because it's like, yo, I did it. And I did it in the midst of having success with something else. So this is why. So, yeah, I mean, all of it plays a role.
No, that's dope, because as you were talking about, like, learning, this week alone, TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had historically, Instagram was a place where it was like, it made sense. And I remember you take things, I remember having a conversation with you offline, but it was like, you take real life experiences and you apply it to what you're doing. I think that's what you call wisdom, like applied knowledge. And this started off of a conversation from an interview, like work related. And the girl was just like, yeah, you know, simple clips. And I was like, huh. To give y'all context, I was interviewing somebody for another job, and we were talking about social media and marketing, and she was talking about how she optimized another brand, their procedures and everything on social media by simplifying the process. And she was like, my generation, talking specifically about Gen Z, she was like, we are more tuned in with like quick, fast, good content, as opposed to everything being complex. So we had the conversation, and as we were listening to the clips, I was like, I think this clip will be great for TikTok. We're talking about the Tulum clip. Yeah. And I just saw, like, one thing about Jay, you will get the formula quick. And it's like, I'm gonna replicate this. So before I knew it, he posted that one clip. He called me and was just like, hey man, this clip is going a little crazy. Before I could go to sleep, I think 2 or 3 more clips were on TikTok. And then he was just trying. It was like, all right, this clip did like 1,000. Then he tried again. This one did 5,000. Then the next one, 200,000. Then the next one, 200,000. I'm like, in real time, seeing the learning experience and how you can apply it to real life, bro. And it's dope.
And you know what's crazy? TikTok moves too fast.
It does.
Because I'm like, bro, I feel like I posted more on TikTok than I've posted on Instagram or whatever ever, right? And I'm in my mind, I'm like, damn, we gotta hurry up and record because I need more clips. I'm like, damn,
I'm not gonna keep up with this.
Yo, I'm like, yo, this is moving fast. And I'm like, I don't want to like stop and slow down because I got the momentum right now. But I'm like, shit, they're gonna just have to wait a couple of days because damn, TikTok move fast as hell.
Bro, very fast. But I think the one thing that works for TikTok as opposed to Instagram is that For You page. Okay. Like, because that algorithm is constantly pulling different content and things of that nature, somebody goes to your page one time, they're going to keep seeing you pop up.
Okay.
Like, it could be on a different platform or whatever.
Hopefully we could build an audience over there, man. Hopefully it just don't be like a viral thing because I'm not feeling the viralness because people just come and then it be gone. I want to have a real audience. So, like, when I post something, my same people is coming to watch.
You're building community.
Yeah, the community. There we go.
That's what we're talking about. And I think that's another thing as you talk about evolution that we've been understanding and exploring is that the importance of community in these media spaces. And those are the people that will, no matter how you evolve, somebody that is supporting The Rock, somebody that's supporting Kevin Hart, they support all things that they do because they're a part of that community. Nick Cannon is the same. So whatever show that they're on, because they're a part of just that brand's community, they're supported. Yeah,
exactly, 100%. All right, man. What we got going on, man? We getting into the shits or
you want to get into this?
I don't know.
We had a conversation about arguing to argue.
It's like it's not even arguing for the sake of arguing. It's like I used to say this a lot. People be so into themselves that they can't see past their nose. So it's like, bro, like if I say one thing, right, and you don't agree with it, why do we gotta keep going back and forth? Like, why do you feel it's so important for you to show me that your way is correct? And then most of the time they be wrong, right? So I was having a conversation with this chick, right? And I'm just talking about how I'm a single dad. I'm like, yo, it feels weird being a single dad. I'm really joking for real. And she wanted to like argue me to death that I'm not a single dad. Yeah. So like I say, cool. Like I ain't about to argue with you. I don't care. Like I don't really care that much. I feel like more people need to not care. Like
no, dead ass though.
More people need to not care. Bro. Y'all care too much.
I'm telling you.
So I let it go. I'm like, cool, whatever. If that's what you feel, I don't care, right? So I end up because it did kind of irritate me. So I end up talking to my line brothers about it, right? So Tim, right? I'm gonna call his ass out. So Tim, like, man, I hate when people do that. Like, I mean, you not because like y'all share custody or whatever. So like it's 50-50. So I'm like 50% of the time I'm a single parent. Yeah. But what are you talking about? So anyway, I think I was talking to you about it, and you Googled it, and it sure enough popped up. It said a single parent is somebody who's separated.
Let me read
Please.
the actual. Let me read.
Put this shit on the screen. But no, regardless of what it says, right? I'm just like, not so much to Tim, because we ain't really have a back and forth. But me talking to the chick, it's like she was so adamant on something that she wouldn't even know. Like you're not even a parent. It's like you just want to say something. It's like, bro, shut the fuck up. But whatever.
Literally.
For real though. So and then like, and it be that in other instances as well. It's like if I'm saying something and this is not even Google, guys. Like
Psychology Today.
This is Psychology Today. It says the light is in. I have so many, but it says a single parent is someone who is unmarried, widowed, or divorced and not remarried. The single parent household can be headed by a mother, a father, a grandparent, and an uncle or aunt. According to the Pew Research Center, between 25 to 30% of children under the age of 18 in the United States live in a single parent household. The United Census report that roughly 22 million children live with single parents, and 3 as many women, when compared with men, head these households. So, yo, I'm unmarried. I don't live in a household with a spouse. I'm a single parent. She's a single parent.
No, that's it.
That's it.
Period, point blank.
Do we get help with each other? Yes.
Yeah.
But the fact is a fact. Stop fucking arguing with me with even with I be in the chat with my homies and we be talking about stats and football and shit. They just be like want to argue. It's like, bro, I do not give a fuck. Shut up. Like, yo, have your opinion. I have my opinion. And miss me with all the other shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with that situation in particular, like that's factual. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she trying to argue that it's like, I don't think you should, but this is like literally, if you look at the definition of what it says here, like a single parent family. See, and that's the thing that people fail to realize is just like the aspect of family is still there because you, like I said, you have a lot of mixed households now and things of that nature as we continue to evolve as a society. So, nah, bro, people would just be arguing for the sake of arguing. I ain't even gonna lie. But
they just want to hear themselves yap like,
it's just debate. It's just debate.
Yeah, and then people, you know what? let me not get in my
You about to get triggered.
Because it's like, yo, people get there, right? And then you got a nerve to talk about me. Like, I don't care enough. Or like, I care. I just don't care to that extent.
Nah,
like, we're wasting our energy. Like, you're wasting energy on shit that don't matter. It's your opinion. It's your opinion. I'm going to respect your opinion. Respect my opinion.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you know, I remember seeing a post there, like, now that everybody's feelings are valid, what now? What now? What we gonna do at this one? Because everybody's feelings is valid. So what we gonna do? Because we can't walk that back.
Yo, what's the definition of because there's so many words out there. Can you give me a quick definition of like gaslighting or what's the other word? Not projecting, but not gaslighting. There's another one.
What did you?
Let me see. What does it say?
Let me go to Pew.
All
right.
What does it say?
It says gaslighting is an insidious form of manipulation and psychological control. Victims of gaslighting are deliberately and systematically fed false information that leads them to question what they may know to be true.
Okay.
Often about themselves. They may even doubting their memory, perception, and even their sanity. Over time, a gaslighter's manipulation can grow more complex and potent, making it difficult for the victim to see the truth.
Let me ask you this, right? Is it fair to say, because I was looking for another word too, but is it fair to say, I'm going to give you an example. People say feelings are valid. No, the fuck it's not. You full of shit. Let me tell you why.
No.
Because you'll tell somebody something, right? And they be like, you know what? I respect your feelings. I accept that.
But
however, I don't think this is true because, bitch, you're not accepting my fucking feelings. Now, if you say, like, because this is what I've been trying to do. I've tried to do this. What you're saying is true, and this is in no form or way to go against your argument. This is just another way that I look at it, right? Two things can be true at the same time. So, but when somebody say I respect it, but I just feel like it's a form of gaslighting because you don't respect it.
That but it's like invalidate.
Everything you say, well, don't people know? I learned this. My mom's an old head. She taught me that. Anything you say after but invalidates everything somebody said before it. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but that's just what I learned.
Everything.
The moment you say but, it invalidates everything somebody said before it. Literally. So, anyway, so like your feelings are always valid. I respect your feelings. However, I don't think that's true because then you don't respect my feelings. It says in gaslighting is an insidious form of manipulation and psychological control. Victims of gaslighting are deliberately and systematically fed false information that leads them to question what they know to be true. What they know. So if my truth is my truth, how the hell can you say this is true, but I don't agree because...
It's a good point. It's a good point. Let me tell you why this is hilarious. Because I remember this was one of the hardest things that I had to learn. Because I'm the type of person, I'll apologize and I'll take accountability. And sometimes I do it too much. Like I used to get in a place of apologizing for things that I shouldn't have. So I'm learning to stop apologizing for things that my boss will call me out and he's like, bro, stop apologizing for shit that you haven't done. And
like a little white kid. I'm sorry.
I'll be like, my bad.
I'm sorry.
But it really be
white people be like, I'm sorry.
It really be like I'm a nigga at the end of the day, right? So I be saying in my mind like my bad, but you know, like I'm like my bad, bro. Like it's like
that's how I am.
But I say my apologies in a corporate space, so people take it as a genuine apology. But when in reality, I'm like my bad, dog. Is how I'm saying it.
I don't give a fuck. So whatever. Like let's move on.
Yeah, let's keep this moving. Like you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, my bad.
Cool.
I made a mistake. But I remember, like, I went to therapy, and she was like, you know, the reason why your feelings are valid is because whether or not it was somebody else's intentions, the fact that you feel that way is true.
Okay.
So, like, your emotions in that moment, whether or not it was deliberately that they were attacking you or not, your feeling still exists.
Right.
So because your feeling still exists is valid. Now, your perception, that's what needs to be questioned because it's like, okay, what about how you're perceiving the situation that is leading this pathway to the emotion? Now, we can't deny the fact that the emotion's there. If you're mad, you're mad. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not I intended it. So again, your feelings, emotions are valid because you're mad about the situation.
Right.
Now, again, perception of the situation, no.
And that's what I was gonna ask. Like in the world full of valid feelings, how the hell do we disagree? Because it's like
You don't, bro. It's really tough.
Everybody feeling is no, your feelings ain't valid. Matter of fact, you're wrong and you're manipulative as fuck, and you shouldn't even be doing that. And you trying to validate this bullshit is some bullshit. So no, your feelings ain't. I'm joking. That was for a clip.
Throw that shit away.
That was for a clip. But I mean that. It's like partially. It's like, okay, so how do I just like? How are you ever wrong if your feelings are always valid?
Yeah, but you see the domino effect of this. We find people that it's very hard for people to take accountability now.
And that's why I try again. I'm no perfect. I'm far from perfect.
I'm far from it.
So I just try to be like, yo, if I do something wrong and it hurts my feelings, I know I didn't have the right intent. I mean, I know I didn't have bad intent. I'll just try to say something like, yo, I understand that, just for sake of understanding of where I came from, right? Like, I was doing it because of this. So I'm not trying to invalidate your feelings or say that I was right in any form of way. I'm just trying to get you to understand. So maybe moving forward, you can decide to either like continue to go that route with me or not, because this is who I am. And although I can change, this may be a pattern that happened again. So just for sake of understanding, right? And if you can handle that, you can. If not, not. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if we could ever disagree at this point. Because it's like, if I don't agree, then am I gaslighting? Because I don't agree with the bullshit? It's like...
So it's a slippery slope, right? And it's like you have to be able to walk that fine line where you can still stand on business, but like accept that there's another side.
But also understand the business that you're standing on. Bro.
Woo. We cooking with gas today? Is this where we're going? We're about to start cooking with gas? Like,
I feel like people be wanting to stand on business in the wrong moments, bro. But especially people want to stand on business that ain't gonna hold them up. It's like, yo, I don't get like this thing I had to walk out.
Piss me off.
Yo, I just feel like, especially relationships. If we're in a relationship, you ain't gotta stand on business with me. Let's stand on love. And I'm not trying to be corny with this, I promise. But it's like, yo, you want to stand on business that ain't going to hold you up. That business that you standing on going to have you sinking. That business that you trying to stand on going to have you drowning. It's going to have you somewhere by yourself somewhere. Why stand on that business when we can stand on each other? We can stand with each other.
That business about to be bankrupt.
That business is going to be bankrupt.
That business about to
and
be
you're going to be
bankrupt.
somewhere else trying to start a new LLC. Why? It don't make sense. It's like, yo, let's stand with each other. And again, I'm not trying to be corny or nothing like that. No simp. I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas think. But
it's scared of you niggas.
Yeah, I was like for sure though, for sure. Because it'd be a bunch of weirdos ain't doing shit with their lives in the comments. Like, but whatever. Yeah, like, it's like you want to stand on the business that ain't gonna hold you up. That makes no sense. And I just wish we would get that out of our minds. Like, we always on defend mode. Like, we don't always have to be defending. It's like, yo, fucking relax.
Triggered. But again, I love therapy because you have to have, it's you versus you in that way.
I do love
and
therapy.
I remember that, like, my therapist was like, what is it about you that when somebody is saying something to hold you accountable, you feel like you're being attacked? And what I had to learn about myself was that I felt like I was constantly being criticized by those closest to me. So naturally, I have built up this defense. Like you were talking about black men, it's not right? But arguing for the sake of arguing is because if I don't stand on this, nobody else is coming to rescue me or defend me or anything in that capacity. So I gotta die on this hill. That's not right though. And I had to learn that, like, again, going back to the core of like, why do I have to defend this? Because I'm still secretly, even though I may say, I don't care about nobody's approval, this, that, and the third, I feel like that my beliefs and everything, and they do in some capacity, but me getting you to understand my belief validates me even more in my identity. But that still means that I'm looking for a sense of identity from you indirectly.
And that's why we all need a little piece of I don't give a fuck in our system.
Well, man, for sure.
We need a little, just this little piece. It don't have to be a lot. Because that little piece of I don't give a fuck is going to save relationships. That little piece of I don't give a fuck is going to save arguments and save fights and things like that. That little piece of I don't give a fuck will take you a long way.
got a story time for you.
Uh-oh.
Because you talking about gaslighting right now. So, what do you think about this situation? A few years ago, I laugh about it now. I'm going to leave with this. But at the time, I was like, huh. Because we're talking about arguing for the sake of argue. But I think this is on the flip side where I said this to the person and it was just like, they actually gave me a pretty good response. We laughed about it, but like, yeah. So, a few years ago, I get a text message from one of my homies. Mind you, my homies. I had just got out of a relationship. I knew she was in a relationship, or I thought she was in a relationship. And she was like, yo, let's talk business one day. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, where you want to link? She's like, yo, pull up to the club that she worked at. So I'm like, okay. It's during the day, though. It's not nighttime. It's like 5 o'clock. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Park my car. I see her. I remember exactly what she was wearing. She was wearing a Croc top, some sweatpants, and some Yeezy slides.
Okay.
So I'm like, some chill shit. You know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy. We walking up to the door. Security looking at me kind of wrong. I'm like, what the fuck? So mind you, I said, I just got out of a relationship, and I know she's in a relationship. Cool. We walking up the motherfucking steps. And I'm like, yo, where's such and such? Because I know he worked there too.
Yeah.
They coupled there. And I told her I was going to tell this story. So shout out to you. But because this gets crazy. We walk up there, and she's like, who? As we're walking up the stairs, I'm like, hold up. Wait a minute. What's going on? Nigga. Apparently, she texted the dude that she's in a relationship with, and I'm going to show up with a new nigga at work today. Jay, I'm the nigga. So, fast forward. I wish I had the card with me because I done hit the Uno reverse on her ass. Boy, we had a Dr. Phil session in the middle of the club. I was like, nah. I went up, dapped him up. I said, you can go talk to her right now because I'm not about to be caught up in the middle of y'all bullshit when she told me the situation. And just to talk about, like, not more so like guys lighting or validating feelings and everything. I mean, having a conversation of like arguing for the sake of arguing. I remember when I said it to her in the past, she was just like, I was like, you trying to lie me. I was like, you don't understand that, like, that could have been a really bad situation. And she was trying to play like she really didn't understand for the moment. Like, she was like, nah, like, they weren't going to touch you or nothing like that. I was like, to you, you might think that it's nothing, but you don't know how far this nigga might have loved you and probably try to take my life and this, that, and the third because of that situation. So I always think about, like, it just bringing up that conversation because it was one of the moments where she could have argued for the sake of arguing, but genuinely, and the reason why we still have conversation now, like, she was apologetic. So at first she was like, nah, bro, like, she was just so rooted with anger that she was just trying to hurt the dude. But then, like, being able to acknowledge that, like, in the midst of your pain and everything that you're going through, you can very much still hurt other people, like, collateral damage.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that I had to come to realize because I was like, bro, that shit wasn't cool. She was like, nah. She was like, damn, I can't believe I did that. We're talking about it on Thursday. I was like, that shit is wild. She was like, nah, I really apologize. She was like, I really shouldn't have done that. So I appreciate that. And yeah, what are your thoughts? Because your face is disgusting in your face.
Well, thank God it didn't go no other way.
I got a ticket, though. Perfect ticket. That's the only thing.
We just got to be careful and very intentional with our actions because some mistakes are too costly to make. And sometimes I apologize just ain't enough. You get what I'm saying? Because if it would have went the other way, luckily it didn't. If it would have went the other way, we talking about something totally different now, right? Your apology can't bring my life back. Your apology can't fix an artery if I get shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, your apology, some things your apology can't fix, right? And although I understand that, I do give grace to others that, like, again, if she genuinely didn't mean no harm, ain't nothing happened, cool, I get it. But it's like, we just got to be careful. And I'm talking about myself too, like, because there's things that I've done in the past that could have went so left, and I'm super grateful that I was able to have somebody accept my apology. But I'm just saying, for all of us in general, we got to do better. And, like, those things like that, when it comes to emotions, man, it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like that. But she apologized. Y'all was able to move forward from it. But, yeah, like, first hearing it, it definitely gets me upset. But we all human.
I was, bro. But I was upset. I was more upset about the ticket. But I was happy that, like, one, the discernment, and we about to go into discernment and God and spirituality and everything in a few seconds. But like the fact that I had the discernment to identify what was going on immediately. As soon as she said that, I was like, oh nah, y'all not about to run. Nah. Because it was literally just me and her in the club.
With a new nigga, like
that was crazy.
Like, first of all, why you think you can even use me as a pawn like that? Like, you think you could tell your nigga that you about to do something with me and I'm gonna be cool with it? Like,
but again, I'm thinking we here for business.
You think I'm a puppet? Bitch, you got this game fucked up. Like, I don't even play like that. Like, even like outside of anything could have been wrong, but it's like, you think you could use me as a puppet? Like, you could play with me on some strings and shit. You can go to hell. Like, girl, you can, man, listen what I'm telling you. Fuck all that. Like, now I'm telling your nigga, yep, I'm a snitch. Yo, bro.
Yo, bro. That was,
your hoe is, your hoe want some hoe shit. I ain't gonna lie, I don't want nothing to do with it.
But I didn't know that. I'm thinking I'm thinking we there for business.
Yeah.
So I don't put one and two together. And he's there. Like, he was there. So I seen him.
Let a chick with a nigga try to use me ever as a puppet. I'm calling your nigga. I'm going to DM your nigga like, yo, bro, I know you might not want to hear this, but your girl wants some hoe shit and you should leave her ass.
You coming to him as a man?
And that, I ain't coming to him as a man because I don't care. I feel like people be going man to man, woman to woman when they care. Like, I'm just letting you know that your shorty on some hoe shit, and I don't want nothing to do with it. So I hope you like break up with that hoe. Like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, now that shit gonna backfire. You trying to make a nigga, you trying to hurt a nigga feelings and get some get back. Yeah, he gonna get some get back because I'm straight telling. Nigga,
Nigga said, I'm telling.
Because I don't even want to mess with no, first of all, I'm a grown ass man. I'm 33, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess with no chick that got a boyfriend. Like, all these side chick conversations. Yo, karma is real. And I'm good. If you got a man, stay your ass over there somewhere.
No,
go to a speakeasy or what they call a little club. Go to one of them shits. You know what I'm saying? If you try to get your rocks off, like go to the little sex club. We in Atlanta. You got
swingers club.
Yeah. You can get your rocks off. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't listen, I'm good. There's so much pussy out here. Like, I'm okay. You got a nigga, stay your ass over there, nigga. Like,
bro.
Fuck all that. Like, fuck all that. Like, I'm not playing with these. No.
So I learned a lot from that lesson. Nah, it was good. But
I'm glad you did, brother.
Ready to get into the shits?
Let's get into the shits. What we got going?
Okay. There's a lot of shit going on, Jay.
Is it, bro? It was a couple things going. Yeah.
Your boys lost last night. Let's start there. They got their ass whooped. Walked them ass down. And for the people that don't know, Colorado got that belt to ass last night by BYU, and I was disappointed. Belt to ass. Whoop-ah!
Bro. So, if you know me, earlier we were saying we all need a little bit of I don't give a fucking else. I have a lot in mind. A lot of I don't give a fuck. Last night showed me that I was clearly a fan of something.
Yeah.
Because I've never been upset about a football game, basketball, anything outside of my work as I was at that game. Bro, that was literally pissing me off, like thorns to my skin, bro. Mm-hmm. It's like they showed up to not show up. It's like they showed up to fucking sleepwalk, to have a collar over their neck, to get dog walked by BYU. And I know everybody like, yo, BYU good. They started off 9-0, 8-0. Man, fuck them. Fuck is you talking about BYU good? They went to sleep at the end of the season.
Nah, for real.
Nigga, they got exposed. Niggas talking about some, yo, BYU really good. Man, I don't know if BYU was that good last night or Colorado really showed their true colors. I don't like that. Especially the last game. Like, man, y'all niggas look like y'all was back at Jackson State somewhere. And then another thing that I don't like is
they bought at Jackson State though.
No, they did, but that's what I'm about to say. Another thing that I don't like I'm saying like they was Jackson State playing BYU. Mm-hmm. I don't like, because I'm a fan, bro. And I know a lot of fans be biased. I'm not biased. I don't like how Deion keep getting exposed in these big games, bro. I don't know if it was the first game when they went to the Celebration Bowl. Them niggas got exposed by South Carolina. Who they play Q? I think it was like South Carolina State.
They lost to NCCU and South Carolina.
Bro,
State.
South Carolina whipped that ass, boy.
They haven't, actually, you know what's funny about that you said that? I don't think Deion has won a bowl game yet.
Bro.
TC did, though.
So, like, I don't like that. So, it's like, because I'm rooting for you. So, in my mind, I want to be able to brag about Deion being a coach in Colorado. I want to brag. But when you do that, I can't brag. And now I feel like I had secondhand embarrassment. Now I'm like, I can't even talk shit about y'all because y'all niggas are looking bad. And there was a couple schools that beat BYU that I feel like Colorado beat. Mm-hmm. Like, so it's like, I ain't understand that. I was so mad. Like, I'm in the chat like, bro, I'm about to turn this shit off and watch Squid Games.
Shout out to Squid Games.
At this point, Squid Games would have been more competitive than that fucking BYU Colorado game.
Nah, they was really putting belt to ass last night. And I think it was the first half when they returned that punt return. At that moment, I was like, oh, nah. But
I ain't got no excuses for it.
I don't have no excuse for them because, like, in my mind, I was like, are they too tapped out? Is this like they know they're getting drafted? Because, like, Shadur, he didn't look the best. Travis, he did all right. You know what I'm saying? He did okay.
Travis a dog.
Shiloh, man, I want Shiloh to be that defender that I know that he can be. You dropped that pick.
You're not serious right now.
What you talking about? You think he's a dog?
No.
I said I want him to be the defender that I know that he can be.
How do you know he can be anything? The nigga had the same tendencies his whole fucking college career. Oh my God, don't get me on this nigga Shiloh. I hate everything about him. I hate that he had number 1. I hate that he plays safety. I hate that he start. I hate that the nigga got the last name Sanders. I hate, bro, on everything, bro. Not even, bro. He pisses me off, bro.
Shiloh?
Yes, bro. He pisses me off. Oh my God, bro.
He probably he might, if he goes undrafted, I don't think he'll go undrafted off the Sanders name alone, but I think he'll be like 6th, 7th round.
He shouldn't get drafted at all, bro. He's one of the most mediocre players in NCAA history.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so. Bro, his pursuits are trash. He can't tackle. He don't wrap up. Why do he even play at that level? He don't even deserve to be there. The only reason he's there is because of his father. I'm sorry. I'm not like no sports announcer or nothing like that. I'm just saying when I watch, I don't think he's good.
But you play defense.
And so I think you're going to say I'm hating, but Shiloh has not shown me he gets big hits, right? But it shows me that you don't have the fundamentals because you always go for the big hit and you don't rap. Like, they teach you that in Pop Warner. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. It's like, so when you say, I want him to be the defender that I know he can be, where? How did you know that? When has he ever showed you that? Like, he has glimpses, but it's like, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you let your emotions go on the field, and I ain't gonna lie, because I'm gonna get it on to Travis, too, because sometimes he be letting his emotions out on the field, too, but he's a dog. So he deserved that. What we say?
Yeah, he deserved that. Yeah.
Nigga, you ain't deserved. Nigga, you always put your team in jeopardy. Like, you always doing some knucklehead shit to get penalties. Like, hitting, like, bro, he's aggressive. I love his attitude, right? I love his heart. But, bro, you need to do better. I'm sorry, my bad.
No, you good. I'm trying to look at his season. I'm looking at Shiloh's season
Stats
numbers.
Can't tell you nothing, though.
Nah, but it's still not even.
Can you see how many missed tackles he had? Nah. Can you see, like.
But he has 45 tackles, 1 forced fumble, no interceptions, and 2 pass deflections. That's not even that. That's okay. That's okay. That's this season.
Bro, Shiloh does not belong. He did not belong starting. I feel like the defense played better when he wasn't there. Like, I don't know, bro. Like,
damn.
I don't know. But anyway, Colorado is my team. Shout out to Deion. He got me watching college football, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
He does. He has a lot of people.
He got me watching college
football. Speaking about that, though, like, we have another major coach that's going to another HBCU. Oh, it is 2.
Did we talk about Michael Vick already?
No, we haven't. So we got Vick going to Norfolk State. Mm-hmm. And then Deshaun Jackson just signed with Delaware. How you feel about that?
Perplexed.
Why?
I feel like, and this is, damn, I could have did some research before the show. Guys, I'm sorry. Has Deshaun Jackson had coaching experience ever? Anywhere else? So. What about Michael Vick?
I think Vick has.
Okay.
I think he's been like an assistant coach before, but or high school.
Okay. I only say that because Deion has been doing this for a while. Like, this ain't, like, I know it might be new to the media and things like that, but Deion been coaching for a while, and he's been very involved in his son's football lives for a while. So seeing him get a head coaching job came to no surprise because, I mean, I've been following Deion, and that's like seeing Snoop Dogg getting a opportunity somewhere, right? Even if it's an assistant coach, because Snoop Dogg has been around football for his son's entire life, right? So I say perplexed because what are the expectations that we have for these players because they were great? Michael Vick was a phenomenal quarterback. I mean, shout out to Lamar Jackson for just surpassing his all-time quarterback rushing yards in the NFL. But that shows you, look how long it took, right? Because Michael Vick was that good. We never seen nobody like Michael Vick until now. We see people like Lamar Jackson and look at that. Like Lamar Jackson is so great that it took somebody like him to break the record of Michael Vick. Right. That shows you how great Vick was.
That alone.
Deshaun Jackson was one of the fastest or most explosive wide receivers that I've seen watching football, right? And when we see that these guys are coaching, I want them all to have success. So first I think it's dope, but the realistic part of me is like, man, I know what comes with expectations. So I'm just like, I don't know, because I don't want people to think, oh, we got Michael Vick, so we're going to have this Deion effect. We got Deshaun Jackson, so we're going to have this Deion effect. And, bro, you might not, because as great as those two players were, they still wasn't half as much as Deion Sanders. And that's why I'm not, like, hating them. I'm just like, I don't know how I feel. I think it's dope for HBCUs and stuff like that. But it's like, also, I don't think people should get jobs because of who they are and what they did for a sport. I think they should get their job because they qualified. And I'm not nowhere saying that they aren't, because I don't know. I haven't done that much research to see. But I hope that's not the case. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so just in real time, it says that Deshaun Jackson spent 2024 as an assistant coach at Woodrow Wilson High School in Long Beach, California. So he does have coaching experience from this last season. I don't know outside of that if it extends into anything. But on the take of like people going and coaching at HBCUs, I do really think it's dope. Before Deion, though, you had Eddie George at Tennessee State, I think. So there's been this kind of renaissance, but then you've seen like it. Yes, Deion left when he went to Colorado, but you still see Jackson State wins the Celebration Bowl now. Yeah. The year after they left, or 2 years after they left, TC is still running that program very well. So I would say, me personally, like the domino effect of him going there is still, not to take anything away from TC.
Hell yeah.
But,
I'm
you know
with
what I'm saying? Like,
he left TC in a great position
to win.
Yeah.
I believe that, like, but you also have seen it not go so well with Ed Reed and Bethune-Cookman and like that stint thing, that nature, where it was very much short-lived. What I do hope is that when you have a Michael Vick and a Deshaun Watson going into these Deshaun Jackson, going into these programs, that more people that are coming out of these schools feel like I can go to an HBCU. But I think what is most special, and we've never seen this before, this NIL season. The NIL thing. So now you can make money anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I think in basketball, the top prospect, I mean, he's from Utah, but the top prospect is going to BYU to hoop, basketball prospect. Because nowadays, like, you have college players that are making more than rookies. Take it with a grain of salt. More than rookies going in the league.
100%, for sure.
Because of their stardom. So I think that they're in a place now where you can actually get top talent and everything on a name, but then also because of the people around you that can have and create a sustainable program for HBCUs. And anytime you see a win for HBCUs, I just...
It's a win for sure.
Yeah.
I think what I will say, though, at minimum, Vick went to Norfolk State.
He went to Virginia Tech. He's from Virginia.
Yeah, he went to Virginia. No, I'm saying, what did he coach? What did he start? Did he get the coaching?
I don't know where Vick started.
No, I'm saying where he's coaching this year.
Oh, Norfolk State.
Norfolk, yeah. So he went to Norfolk State, the coach, right? At minimum, I think they'll get a really good quarterback, because why wouldn't you want to be coached by one of the best?
Vick, yeah.
Same with Deshaun Jackson. I know he's very involved in the West Coast because that's where he's from. He can get some talent. And again,
that's a good point.
I'm being real, right? So when it comes to the positions, right? Like the athletes on the field, it's not that big of a difference. It's a difference when you compare it to the SEC and things like that, but it's not that big of a difference when we talk about athletes, right? The real difference is in the interior, right? So I think that they'll get some dogs, because there's a lot of dogs out there in general. So even if you get the second best player from Oklahoma or Alabama, they still gonna be dogs at the HBCU level. So I think they will definitely see some type of progression.
I'm glad that you made that point, because people don't understand the significance of, like, Deion was able to flip the top cornerback in the nation in Travis Hunter at that time.
Yeah.
So, like, just imagining what players could a Mike Vick or a Deshaun Jackson flip
for sure.
Make them go to the HBCU.
I'm pretty sure there's a quarterback out there that would love to play for Vick.
Yeah,
like even like I was
quarterback. Yeah, bro.
I was talking to one of my homies, and again, guys, I'm being careful, but I know all my sports fanatics, like, y'all know this shit, so just be bear with me. But I was talking to one of my friends about AAU basketball, and this reminds me of this. He was like, AAU basketball is great. The only thing about it is there's no rules. So what happens is like a player will have a phenomenal year, but then you might have this dope boy coming off the street going into a coaching program, or that's just his son might be on a team or whatever. He might be working with a program and he got a lot of money and he can offer a kid that plays AAU to play for his team, right? Or not even that. Let's say if, like, I think he said one of his sons played a team where it was a famous rapper, and he gave the rapper nigga the business, and the rapper DM'd him like, yo, what I gotta do to get you here? We can't ignore that influence that these people have. So same way with a Michael Vick or Deshaun Jackson. You never know the influence that they might have on a top wide receiver prospect or a top quarterback prospect. And it's like, yo, that's Michael Vick. What? I used to play with him on Madden. I would love to play for Michael Vick. So that does add to the program, and I think that should add some type of like benefit to the players that they can get.
Nah, it's dope. And I need to correct myself. Apparently, but I don't think this is necessary. This is on ESPN. They're saying that Vick has no coaching experience. He's the latest former star who has not coached before taking the helms of an HBCU program. But it says that includes Deion and Eddie George. But I could have sworn Deion coached in high school. So I need to fact check that.
He might have coached the Little League. I don't know.
I could have sworn he coached high school before he went there. But I will fact check that. We'll circle back with that. But this is what ESPN is saying.
But I do know that Deion was around for his sons. Like, he has so many relationships with the coaches that coach his sons. So like, I do know. And then he always talks about it like he was like some of the players that played with him, they've been playing with him for years.
But that's what I'm saying. I do feel like he has coached before, but maybe they're not recognizing it because the level at which he coached. Last topic, bro. This one is, and I saved the best for last, man.
Oh, B. Simone thing?
30. Yeah.
Oh, man. Shout out to B. Simone, man.
Shout out to B. I had to pray about this topic. Like, I
for
literally
real?
was like praying. I was like, God, man, I just pray that I say what you want me to say because it's such a sensitive area, sensitive topic. Go ahead.
You know somebody, if y'all don't know what we talk about, B. Simone recently came out. She was on a couple platforms basically saying that she isn't gonna be friends with none of her friends that still talk about zodiac signs and.
You want to play it or?
Can we? I don't think the blue. I mean, we could play it. Yeah, we could play it. They could just hear it through this. Through the old fashioned way. Let me see. Do you have the clip?
Yeah.
Go ahead, play it. You can play it.
Let me play it on my phone. But yeah, this was, I definitely had to pray. I was like, man, all right, God, what you want me to say?
This is gonna be real controversial, but I don't care. I gotta get this off my chest, and I gotta let y'all know I cannot go into 2025 with people who are still looking forward to their daily horoscope. I can't do it. This war we fighting, I need some intercessors. Y'all over here carrying around sage? Y'all still got rose quartz. I get it. I used to have the rose quartz in my bra. Like, I'm gonna find me a nigga today. Yeah, this rose quartz, this rock gonna bring me my husband. I get it. I have been there. But what I'm saying is, I'm not there anymore. And nothing against the people who believe in that. Just as for me and what I need in my life, I don't need a tool. I need the blood. So if you ain't covered in the blood, hey, you can't go to next year with me talking about did you read your daily microscope? I don't give a damn about what the horoscope say about Aries. What does Matthew 2 and 2? This is
You know, man. I want to have some grace because she is a comedian, so she probably put a comedic aspect on it. However, what you said is what you said, right? So my only problem is when you say like I used to do it, so I can't go into the new year with you guys who still do it. What if people gave up on you like that? Right? What if whoever introduced you to God as you see it now, right? What if they said, I can't talk to B. Simone because she does this? Because you said you used to do it. So when you say that, it's like you're passing judgment. And we all know what the Bible said about passing judgment. One, and then how you saying it is still passing judgment. Y'all still walking around with your passing judgment. Right? So it's like, how much different are you in what you're doing on your big platform than the people who are doing it? you're not that much different. And that's like we all like what Christians like to do is we try to compare each other's sin. A sin is a sin. So who are you to fill in the blank? You're just a sinner. So my thing is like what she's saying about horoscopes, because again, I've been learning a lot.
We learned a lot.
So she's absolutely right.
Let's start there. No. She's not lying.
She's absolutely right.
She's not lying.
However, I am a sinner who very much so stand on being a Gemini, and God just have to understand my heart. Hopefully, He does.
I don't
right?
think you're a sinner. I mean,
I'm a sinner.
You sin.
Because
I don't think you're a sinner.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, goddamn, like you would think. I don't know. Like I definitely talk about being a Gemini, right?
Same.
But I know it's wrong, right? And who's to say? Like if you know something is wrong, you still do it. You may be worse. So I'm not here to judge her. It's just all I'm saying is like I wish, like shout out to the Christians or whatever. Like I feel like when we learn something new, we get super excited about it.
Very excited,
right?
Yeah.
And that's dope because I think the Bible even says something about that. Like you're supposed to get excited because then those are the people who bring more people to Christ, right? My thing is just judgment because you used to be one of them. So why get on your big platform and start like throwing stones at them? Because now you're making them feel bad. What if God did that about you when you were in there? Come on, dog. Like, you know better than that, especially coming into this new season of yours. So, like, although she's right, I think how she went about it was terrible.
I have a lot of takes, and I'm trying to think of which way to go because you said a lot just there. Sanctification is a process. We talked about this before, right? And I try to put myself in her shoes, and as I was thinking about this, I was just like, man, I thank God that I went through it in private. I've been going through the sanctification process in private because like the battles that I had to fight that nobody saw, I thank God. And now I'm looking at her and I'm like, dang, because you're a public figure, you have to go through this process in front of everybody.
But do she? She didn't have to go. She didn't have to say
do that. But it's just like, the transformation, like you're gonna see it's different because you're gonna move different.
So let us see it then.
Right.
We don't have to hear it.
But and that might be a part of her testimony and how she feels like, all right, she feels like I should share this testimony. Again, messaging because she's a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
So like, all right, I heard a lot of people in the comments like, is she doing this for views? Is she doing this? I can't gauge that.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I can't gauge how the spirit moves you or anything in that capacity. I'm a flawed man.
Facts. Me too.
Very flawed man, bro. And y'all may hear me on this podcast, but look, at the core, man, I love God, bro. I love Jesus, and I ain't never going to deny that, bro. We talk about this all time and time again, but I just kept on replaying in my mind, bro, because I was like, dang, bro, here you have somebody, and like you said, the steps. You get introduced to something new. You on fire, right? You're in for everybody got to know about this. And how could you not know this? You arguing with niggas at this point because it's like, dang. But then you get to a place where it settles, and then you might have backslid. And it's like, even though I know this goodness and I know this truth, but I still went back to the old things. So now I'm like, damn, am I a hypocrite? Now I'm going through this process in my mind, and it just takes, as you go through it, you start to understand how much it isn't about you. It's about him. So it's like, all right, I got this attention towards me, and the more that I focus on myself, the more I fall short, further away. But the more I look towards him and I understand that I am flawed, I understand that in my weakness that he is made strong. Now it's like, all right, cool. This is what Paul was talking about. This is where he says, oh, in my weakness he was completed, and all of these things, and that even when I was in sin, that he loved me. Those are the things that you start to see, and it's like, okay, the transformation in that process and the sanctification process, you start to take steps towards it. It's ugly though. People think it's gonna be pretty. So when she said it, I was like, all right, I'm happy because the conversation is being had. Like, even if you may not agree with her method or anything, there's still a conversation that's gonna be had because she started and put it out there. And I was like, I believe, not in her, but I believe that God is big enough that all he needs is the conversation to be started.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I ain't mad at that. I'm just thinking because I'm like, what conversation if you don't know? Because it wasn't like any education behind it. It wasn't like, yo, y'all know we really not supposed to be celebrating this stuff, right? It wasn't like, yo, y'all know that, like, if you walk around with that, I used to do it, but you know that as really believing in another God, right?
Yeah.
Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't really informative. It was really just judgy.
Just like, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah, like, I ain't rocking with y'all if y'all do that.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, now you make me feel bad. And I don't even know why.
And it's like,
right? And it starts confusion.
And it's tough though, but maybe, okay.
But
you know what it is?
Let me ask you this then, Alex. Whew, I don't remember a lot of stuff. I got a lot of notes and stuff. Who causes confusion amongst the people?
The devil. It's the author of confusion. But let me tell you this part. You know why? You said, does she have to do this? And I think she does.
Right. But what I'm saying is it right if you're causing confusion? Like, again, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying her intent was wrong at all. But the way you did it, the way you're judging now, and when you say you like it because it's starting a conversation, and in my mind, and maybe we might be having to meet in the middle, because in my mind, it's like, if I already knew that, so I'm able to accept what she's saying. I'm able to see through the approach and understand the message because I learned that. But to somebody who didn't learn that, they might be judging her or like, yo, what do you mean? What's wrong with this? Now it's confusing the people, right? Because now if you was able to say, yo, you know that this is wrong, because now it might start the conversation because I can look it up. I can go find it. But you ain't really give us nothing.
Yeah, and I think that's, like I said, the process of growing, right? How you convey the message you learn over time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I done pushed a lot of people away in my past because I was so too passionate. And I wasn't able to recognize where they were in that season. And I had to remember the same grace that God had for me when people were coming to me and they were giving me facts. And I was sitting there like, you know what I'm saying? I just wasn't ready. I wasn't in that space. Now, to go back to the point of like, did she have to do this publicly? I think she did. And the reason why I say she did is because I think, not the sin was public, but like she said, I was talking about saging.
Okay.
Like she would be in the videos and all that stuff.
Okay.
So now it's like when somebody comes to recognize you for that, like you kind of, if you feel like you've unlearned or like this may have been right in one season, we talked about this with like things that we accepted in the past, but now we have understanding. It's like maybe this wasn't right. Now you may have to the people that you feel, she might have felt conviction within her heart. The people that I led to this, like I feel like I have to now go correct this.
But my only rebuttal is that because you're correct. How was that correcting? How was that leading? How was that you didn't inform? Like if this conversation changes, if she says, "Yo, do you know that we not really supposed to do this because of X, Y, and Z?" Y'all know that, like, bro, that whole time I was carrying around these damn crystals in my bra, I'm bringing the depth. Like,
I think she did talk about it though. Didn't they have it
on that? I'm saying on that clip.
No.
On that
I'm
clip.
talking about in podcasts in the past.
Okay, okay. I'm just talking about the clip. The clip, she's like, yo, on her Instagram, she posted it like, yo, man, I ain't going to the 25 with the people. Yo, y'all still carrying around. I get it. I used to do it. But y'all still, my nigga, before you stop, you were still.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's it. And I don't got no problem with B. Simone. It's just, if we're talking about that aspect of it, like, and we can, hopefully she'll see it. Maybe she'll see this, but like, she can see that you can have the right messaging, but the wrong approach. And that's okay. We can get better.
Boy.
Like, you can't critique nobody nowadays.
Somebody said that. I'm going back to therapy because, like, I remember my therapist said this to me, and it was really, I couldn't grasp it because I was like, if it's the truth, it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, even the truth could be abusive at times.
Yeah.
How you convey it. She was like, that doesn't necessarily, just because of the truth doesn't mean that you can't have an abusive tone. And I'm not saying that she had an abusive tone in what she was saying, but it just, like I said, I'm happy that it started the conversation because you could look into the comments and things of that nature and people are going back and forth. That similar to like when we put a take out, it's like, all right, it's a unique take, but it's disrupting something. Now, I think it's for her as she goes through this process. Over time, she will learn. You have a heavy platform. You need to be more intentional with what you're saying. Because like you said, God is not an author of confusion. If you pay attention to the Bible and everything, it is very intentional. It's very strategic and like perfect. Sorry. Jesus, that was ugly. But it's very perfect. So when you think about that, like, how do you now take this and incorporate it to your life? And that is a part of the sanctification process. I also thought of something like this. Every time everybody's like, you're spiritually an infant and this, that, and the third. And I used to think that for the longest. I was like, I'm not an infant anymore in this stage. I'm more like a toddler or like, 8 years in the game. But if you think to like a child, when you're an infant, everything that you need, you're dependent upon your parents and everything in that capacity. But as you start to get older, you have questions. You start to build your own ideologies and things of that nature. So I think that right now in my life, and I've been saying this time and time again, I was like, bro, I'm at peace. And it's kind of crazy because I was like praying to God. I'm like, God, am I going down the path that you want? Things of that nature. But I'm like, nah, I'm really at peace right now. And I'm at peace because I know that despite what I may be doing that's right or wrong, like I don't feel like I'm big enough to get in God's way of his plan. But more importantly, it's just like I'm having these questions and these dialogues, and I feel like I have genuine relationship and intimacy with God. So now I'm in this space where I feel conviction. I know that what I'm dealing with. I done read Romans 7 time and time again. We talked about it before, and I'm like, I get what Paul was talking about. Where he's like, bro, the things that I don't want to do, I do it anyways. And it just talks to, like, one of the things that I often wish that the Bible talked about was like day to day with these prophets, day to day with the apostles, because we see the great things that they did. But it's just like from a day to day standpoint, what were you battling with emotionally, mentally, spiritually? And we don't get that aspect of it. But I often think in just seeing his letters, like, nah, you wrestled. But the wrestle was good.
I was about to say that, bro. I'm in a space where I'm embracing my wrestle.
Yeah.
My tug of war. And again, I'm just somebody who holds myself accountable. And like I was talking to somebody just yesterday, I think. And she was like, what is that, lady? She was like, I want to get her words right, but she was basically saying that, like, I do believe that God created everything. So God created the stars and things to align and things like that. And I'm like, I understand that. However, and I respect that. But all I'm saying is if we're Christians, it's certain things that the Bible says that if we say we Christians, we should follow, right?
That's the facts, yeah.
But that doesn't take away from your feelings because, again, I still believe what I believe, but because I say I'm Christian, I know that I got some working to do. And that can coexist. It's just a lot of times people just, again, they can't see past that nose, so they think that everything that they think is true and real. And it's like, yo, it's okay to embrace. It's okay to embrace your, can we see if the camera's still rolling?
Yep.
Because the shit might have stopped. The Atomos might have stopped, but I don't know if you might got to check this. Cause yeah, I don't know if the camera stopped though. The ATEM still on? Okay. Yeah. So my bad, y'all. We doing this by ourselves. But yeah, so it's okay to embrace your flaws and go get more knowledge about it, if that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. So like I was saying, like I know I'm a Gemini, but I know I got some work to do in that. If I want to call myself a Christian, right? I know I like to speak in my own way, curse and things like that. But I know if I'm gonna call myself a Christian, that's wrong. Like it's things that I know because the Bible says so, right? And that doesn't negate anybody else. Like holidays, right? I've learned that that's a pagan thing, right? And I'm not about to judge nobody for celebrating.
Yeah.
I just know that. So have I went to a holiday party? Yeah. I didn't dress up, but me being there is still confusion. It's like what they say, never argue with a fool because from a distance you will never know who's who. The same. If I'm gonna say I don't celebrate Christmas, but I'm at a Christmas party, it's gonna look like I celebrate Christmas. So, but again, these are things that I'm not about to give it an excuse, like, I just came here because like I ain't celebrating. No, you're wrong. However, I'm working on that.
This is where I am.
Like it's so, and I learned to embrace that. It's like people feel like they want to make excuses for their wrongdoings. No, just embrace it and get better. That's it.
And that's where it was. And I feel like me being in Atlanta exposed. Oh, okay. I feel like me being in Atlanta made me realize that a lot of things that I was doing in the past was more like, you know how they talk about the Pharisees and it's like by the law. So I was just doing it because it was right, but I wasn't doing it because God told me to.
Oh man,
and like that Atlanta exposed it because like when I came down here, when it's back in your face, right? And it's really at you. You know when God is leading you versus when it's yourself. Because you going to fall every time, my boy. You going to fall every time. But when it's really God that's leading you, I'm like, dang, God, like, why you do me like that? But I had to realize, like, nah, just be you. And then anybody that's watching this, y'all judging us, bro, we love you.
Facts.
We love you. Because at the end of the day, bro, I know what God has taken me through, and I know where he's taking me through right now. But then I have this level of peace, my boy. I can't stress this enough, the level of peace. Because I know that at the end of the day, everything is going to be done according to his goodness and his glory. And I can surrender to that.
Yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. like recently it's been hard for me to go back to church because I went Tuesday or whatever, but it's just because, like you said, like we fall into this cycle of doing things because that's what we think should be done, right? And I just started like questioning. I ain't gonna lie, I just had more questions and I couldn't get the answers and I couldn't really put a finger to it. What I don't like though is like I remember my deacon said this and it's so true. He was like, man, the problem with like coming to this church is like when people stop coming, they stop going to church and overall because it's hard to go to other churches because you've been introduced to the knowledge. And that's so true. Like you've invited me to church a couple times, like I just can't go on a Sunday. Because again, I've learned that like in I think 3, and this is all history, we could look it up, 321 AD, Constantine abolished Sabbath day. We already know as Christians, one of our commandments is keep the Sabbath day holy, right? So if man abolished Sabbath day and then the Roman church created Sunday to be the new worship day and we still worship church on Sunday, in my belief, right? Not judging nobody. This is what I've learned. So it's like now I can only celebrate on Saturday or go to church on Saturday. But anyway, not to confuse nobody, I'm just saying like these are things that I learned. And it's like, I'm just conflicted. And
that's real,
you know, I'm just like, I'm a human. So it's like I'm conflicted, but I do know right from wrong, right? So, and I don't want to make no excuses. Like, because even somebody I was talking to, they was like, yo, it's hard to believe because the Bible was written by man. And I'm like, well, technically, again, and I asked my, yo, are you a Christian? Like, yeah. I'm like, so if you call yourself, and it's not to judge you, but I'm just saying, technically, if you call yourself a Christian, you would know that the Bible wasn't just written by man. The Bible was written by men that God spoke to, right? So when we talk about...
Don't let that go over your head.
Yeah, so it ain't...
Not spoke to, spoke through.
Yeah, you feel me? So it's not that like... So John wrote...
The Epistle of John, yeah.
Yeah, I think John wrote Revelations. He wrote a couple other books too, was it, Matt?
I think Matt. I'm gonna pull up
just
my Bible
know
app.
that. So John wrote. We know Revelations, right? It ain't like he made this up. God was giving him the information for him to write it.
Legit.
So a lot of times we say the Bible was written by man. That's okay to say if you're not a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't call yourself a Christian, I understand that. But if you call yourself a Christian, then you can't. Well, I'm not gonna say you can't. It contradicts itself because you being a Christian and saying the Bible was written by man, yeah, that's true. But no, if you're a Christian, then you would know that it wasn't just written by any old man. It was written by the man that God appointed. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and again, I'm not saying that I still don't be having questions, but I'm real enough for myself to say, you know what? I challenge that. I challenge this because the Bible was written by man. I don't know. So maybe I need some work in that department, or maybe I need to look at some other things and not call myself a Christian. I'm just being real. Some people might not like that, but I'm just being real with myself. Because if you say you're a Christian, one, again, and you can help me out because you study this way more than I have, but even Christian from Jews to Christian, we believe that Jesus died on a cross for us, for our sins.
Muslims. Well, no. Muslims acknowledge that Jesus existed even.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we believe that Jesus is our Lord and Savior, right?
Well, no. Christians do.
Christians, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Christians. So to be a Christian, and I'm just saying like, so if you don't believe that, then it's like, are you a Christian? Same with what I'm saying. It's like, if you don't believe certain things, it's like, are you a Christian?
Bro, you know, it's crazy because like, even the term Christian was coined by the Romans, right? So I often have this wrestle. It's kind of like the word nigga, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what they were calling Christians back there. So Christ doesn't know what Christ. He don't even know what that is. It's just like, are you a follower of him and his teaching? Are you a follower of the life that he lived and his? And one of the things that you pay attention and you study, there's a difference. Like it's the character because we know we're flawed. The Bible says you're flawed. That's why the Bible says filthy rag. That's why you heard the story of the parable where Jesus was like, here's this woman who is wrong. She is wrong. I know she's wrong. But everybody's looking and he's like, anybody that's here that is without sin, throw the first stone. So in a moment where, and I just love this story because Jesus had an opportunity in this moment to be like, nah, you're right. She did this crime. Kill her. Because in that time, the law, they were justified for it. But he used that moment to then turning on everybody else, which is the way that he does it. Like, it's just like, bro, I wouldn't be here if there was one perfect person.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they were talking about what Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah, and God was like to Lot and to Abraham, find me one. If there's one, I won't destroy this town. They were not one. So when you look at it, the character, that's why we talk about sanctification being a process. Bro, we can have the knowledge, but to have the character and then the wisdom to apply it, that takes time. Because you're not going to go to an 8 years old or an infant or somebody that has been, or a 4-year-old and tell them, hey, bro, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, that you know they don't have the wisdom to apply it. Yes, you might know the knowledge. You know your yes from your no. But do you know have the wisdom and the understanding as to why you do this, as to why you move this way? But so much of that, we don't have that conversation, and we don't give people the grace because we so much on that high horse. And I'm like, man, listen, I pray that, man, I pray that everybody has this experience with God for real,
Bro, that's why that prayer, oh, man, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
Bro.
The courage to change the things I can, but the wisdom to know the difference, that's the piece right there. Because to know the difference between the things that I can change and I can't change. The wisdom to know the difference. Boy, that, man, listen.
Bro.
But like I pray for it. Like I'm not here to judge nobody because, and that's the thing about like the religion space. Again, I'm conflicted. I'm not trying to confuse nobody.
Right.
But like a lot of times I wonder, like, man, damn, what's right? It's so many things out there, and it's like, what's right? Because at the end of the day, I just want God. And it's like, I see how religion, I'm not gonna say it was put here to separate us, but I see how it does separate us, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah,
You're
so
right.
it's like I just be like, man, bro, it's just so much, it's so many nuances to it. And it's like, man, I just pray I'm going the right way, doing the right things, following the right people. It's just, that's it. You know what I'm saying? But
and when I lay my head at night, that I made God smile. That's all I want, bro. That's
facts.
it. So Beast Mode, man, I pray that God continues to work with you during this sanctification process, bro. And I know that it can be ugly. I know that you're going to be learning and you're going to be criticized because you got to stand in the gap. But at the end of the day, be encouraged, bro. Because, yeah, while you have to go through it in the spotlight and it's tough, we don't know what's going to happen on the other side of the testimony.
Don't know.
We don't, bro.
Yeah, man, I hope the one thing I will say, one thing that's consistent, though, is she's clearly on a journey to find it.
Exactly, bro.
She's on a journey. Like, she's been on a journey for a few years now. And through that journey, we're going to hit bumps in the road, right? So I think that is dope. And if anything, let people see that, right? That she's on this journey and she's going to get there. Yeah, man.
Good, man.
Making God smile. I like this stuff.
Making God smile.
Make God smile, man. We don't know the name of this podcast, so we'll name this podcast later. Alexander the Blanc. Make sure you follow him at Alexander the Blanc on Instagram and everything else. I am Mr. J Hill on every single thing. Mr. J Hill, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that. Also, subscribe. If you watch this for this long, if you watched it to the end, if you listened to it to the end, DM me. I'll give you $50.
And drop a comment. You have to drop a comment on YouTube telling others to subscribe. It's not about to just be the DM. Nah, we want to see the evidence of your labor.
I'll give you $50, man. I appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. We out.
Peace.